Shine Divine, my friends, and welcome to today's video where my purpose is to bring you encouraging and inspiring messages from the Divine. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's get started and see what message Spirit has for us today. If you want to take a couple of deep cleansing breaths to get started so that you can ground down into your own energy and receive messages directly from Spirit. Ooh, okay. So this first one out is self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Okay, so right away with these two coming out together, I feel there's going to be a message of forgiveness of self and forgiveness of, past actions that you have either taken against others or that you've taken against yourself. Forgiveness in the way of accepting that every single part of you from the past until now has been a lesson to learn. There's been a reason to it. And sometimes when we have acted out in a certain way, it's been due to us feeling low about ourselves, and there needs to be a time of forgiveness for yourself and the way that you have thought about yourself in the past, or things you've told yourself, said about yourself, negative, awful things. I know that some people really struggle with that, and so I feel like starting out the message right here, right now is you deserve that forgiveness from yourself. You deserve it because there's always a reason why you've reacted a certain way. And especially if you're very hard on yourself, you berate yourself. How could you do that? Why would you do that? Like all these negative things you could be saying to yourself that have diminished you. Sometimes you are your own worst critic. And Spirit is asking you to kind of reevaluate that and have some compassion and self-love for all of your past versions of yourself. And there's no reason to hold on to any of that resentment of yourself from the past, because that version of you is gone. And it's time to start fresh, start new, start talking, speaking kindly to yourself, about yourself. Challenge those negative thoughts, because you deserve to feel that ultimate self-love. It can be really hard. It's not something that's just going to happen overnight, at least won't for most people, but it is a process. It is a journey. And if you're there, if you're kind of stuck in that negative self-talk, Spirit is I see you and I want you to see you as I see you. But it kind of starts with forgiveness of your past. Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Some of you are being very hard on yourself about things that have happened in the past, things that have not worked out the way that you thought that they were going to work out. And maybe there's something that you have put a lot of time and energy into, and it didn't come to the type of completion that you were expecting. I can speak from personal experience. I can relate to this. I spent a lot of last year working really hard at a specific job, and I tried so hard to tell myself in that while I was there, okay, I can see myself have a future here. I kept telling myself that, despite the fact that if I really tapped into my inner knowing, that I didn't actually believe that, because the job was just not in alignment with who I am. And so when that job finally came to an end, after a period of time where I was I can't do this anymore. It is actively harming me. I had to go through this process of accepting that I was not in alignment at that time. And I had to come to forgive myself for trying to force it when I knew deep down it was not the right fit. But then there was also a process of like kind of feeling like a failure because I couldn't make it work. Like, wow, you are so incapable that you can't make this job that all these other people are doing. You can't make it work, you know? Like, it was really good money and it had some type of prestige to it, but like it just wasn't in alignment. It wasn't what I was meant to be doing. It didn't align with my soul. It was actively harming me. And so I've been here, you know, I had to go through a process of challenging those negative thoughts I had about myself in that moment because I was trying so hard to fit myself into a box of like what would be more socially acceptable than to what I'm doing now. And it just, yeah, you've got to live your own life, I guess, is also part of that. But I do feel like this message is very pertinent to some of you that have been very hard on yourself for something not going the way that you felt like it needed to. And that's okay. It's okay that it didn't go that way. But now it's like coming to a time of acceptance of what's happened, but also an acceptance of yourself and recognizing that any type of failure is just an opportunity to learn and forgive yourself, and let's build you back up. Let's build you back up to your powerful self. And judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Yeah, man, some of you out there are just so hard on yourself right now. You're feeling so low, so incapable, so just like left behind because you weren't able to make something work. And because of that, you're just beating yourself up relentlessly, and it's not really getting you anywhere. You beating yourself up is not going to make you work any harder. It's not going to make things manifest faster. Like, there is no benefit to you beating yourself up. It's just harming you. It's just damaging your aura. It's damaging your energy. You don't deserve it. You do not deserve the emotional turmoil you're putting yourself through. So what's important is to be able to take this failure, quote unquote failure, and analyze it. Take a look and see what was it throughout this journey that I can point at and find something positive about. Find that lesson. And for some of you, the lesson might just be about your self-esteem and accepting that it didn't work. And that's just a part of life sometimes, and learning to love yourself through whatever failure it might be, learning to forgive yourself through whatever failure it might be. But Spirit is definitely here to say, let that go. Like, you don't deserve to be so hard on yourself. It's not doing you any good. It's just going to continue a cycle of pain and suffering, and you don't want that. You want to break free from that pain and suffering, so it's time to stop that cycle. Be kind to yourself. Speak kindly of yourself. Use positive affirmations. Even if you don't believe them in the moment, they can be very powerful. And when you start spiraling down into that negative self-talk, reach out to a friend, distract yourself in some way, challenge the thoughts, ask Spirit to show you something positive about yourself, and then listen to it. It's hard. It's not an easy thing, and it is a process. It's not something that's just going to be fixed overnight. But man, you deserve to feel better about yourself. You really do. And I think it's a really good opportunity to ask Spirit, show me the good things about myself. Show me the positives about myself. And listen to it and believe it. And remember that you are a child of the divine. Oh, gosh. I actually don't feel like that's right. There we go. You are a child of the divine. You have a divine purpose. And Spirit doesn't want you to beat yourself up anymore. We're done with that. King of Winter, get advice from someone professional and objective. Public speaking, unemotional relationships. It's kind of time to set aside those emotions of, oh, I'm such a failure, I'm such a loser, I can't do anything, I'm, whatever negative thing it is. It's time to like set that aside and go about it more logically. Look for the evidence of what you're believing about yourself and reach out to someone if you need to. There's no shame in that. 7 of Autumn, have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. Take time. It's a process. It's not, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. Learning to love yourself and really believe that and like standing in your own personal power, it's a journey. And you'll have some good days, some bad days, some days in between. Take it moment by moment. But have patience with it. Don't worry. And take time for yourself. Prince of Summer, falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. Again, connecting with this King of Winter, like kind of setting aside your emotions for a little bit and staying grounded, staying present in this moment. But also, I feel like with Prince of Summer, there is a bit of whimsy and romance, and in relation to like self-esteem and self-love, find a way to romanticize yourself. Like, find a way. And I know some of you are like, there's literally nothing about me that's worth anything. And it's like, Spirit is saying, stop it. Stop it. It's not true. Like, you are a child of the divine. Continue to remind yourself that. I am a child of the divine. And feel that love. Feel the love of the universe. Feel the love of the people in your life. And soon you will start to feel the love of yourself. But it does take courage to stop those negative thoughts, or at least challenge them a little bit. Be like, that's silly. We're not going there. That's a silly thought. We're not thinking that anymore. That's a silly belief. Like kind of distancing yourself from it. 9 of Winter, unfounded fear, focusing on worst case scenarios, allowing worry to grow out of proportion to the problem. Feeling stuck in that cycle of, I'm nothing, I'm worthless, I can't make anything work, not being able to follow through on your passions and your desires. Spirit is saying it's time for that to change. It's time to move on from that. There's a lesson in it, of course. There's always going to be a lesson. That's why we're here on Earth, is to learn. And the quicker you learn whatever lesson is that you're currently in, the quicker the cycle will end and you will move on to something else. King of Summer, a romantic partner you can trust. Excellent advice that comes from the heart. Getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavor. So we've got King of Winter, Prince of Winter, and King of Summer. So I feel like for some of you especially, it's almost like you have some type of like more masculine figure in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man, but someone of more of a masculine energy is speaking truth into your life, positive truth about who you are, but like you really struggle to believe it, or you struggle to believe that anyone of that nature could see the good in you, and you're like staying stuck in that energy, like no one is ever gonna find me lovable, I'm just such a screw up, I'm such a mess up. And Spirit is trying to like show you like, no, there's not just one, but there's 2 and 3 different people in your life that either are currently in your life and like have positive things to say about you, or there will be at like different times in your life 3 different people that will come in and help you through it. Like there's a connection there for some of you. Four of Spring, be grateful you have much to celebrate, deep feelings of peace and happiness, a contented personal life. This is what you have to look forward to. Look at that adorable picture. I love it. You have someone. There is, like I said, for some of you, like there's three distinct people here, and it's either three people all at the same time of, varying degrees, or at three different times in your life. And they're there to like help you kind of build up this self-love, but it starts with you. It's something that you have within you. It's a lesson you need to work on. You need to learn for yourself, but there is help there. Listen to those people that are speaking positive truths into your life. This is what I want. Let's pull some more cards. Let's go a little deeper. Okay. Goddess of the Earth, an idea connected to imagination, creativity, and nature is coming your way. Staying grounded, staying present, listening to the nature spirits that come to you when you spend time outside. When you look at, like, there's so many different types of trees and plant species, and each one is uniquely beautiful, and they are so powerful in their energy. And it's like you are that tree, one of those millions of trees. You are one of them. You have that innate beauty. You have that power. You just haven't quite tapped into it yet. But Spirit is saying that soon there will be a time where you are able to like tap into that creative energy and use your imagination and be grounded in your personal power. Angel of Finances, honor and give thanks for the blessings you are about to receive. So for some of you, if this negative self-talk is because of a job or some type of financial issue, Spirit is saying, don't worry, the finances are coming in. There is a blessing you are about to receive. Be grateful for it now in the moment. Believe it's coming. Be thankful for it. Be grateful for it. Claim it. Yes, yes, yes. And give thanks for it. And so for those of you that are, and also understand too that like your self-worth is not dependent on how much money you're making. Your self-worth is not dependent on whatever's in your bank account. Like, you are still worthy despite that. You are still worthy despite any failures you've had in the past financially. There is no shame. Like, spirit or finances, money is all frequency. And sometimes it's really hard to align and match up, especially in this day and age with just the way that everything is, really. There is no fault on you for it. But have faith that is coming in. That is going to get easier. It's matching up nicely with this Four of Spring, where you will have much to celebrate. There is a positive end to this time, this lesson, this very difficult lesson of self-love. It's not always rainbows and butterflies as much as we'd like it to be. This feels like a very deep lesson for a lot of you out there. Angel of Union, again, there is someone in this realm. There is someone around for you. A partnership is blessed and destined for greatness. Okay. God of spiritual healing. God of spiritual healing, an aspect of you or a situation in your life is in need of healing. That healing is coming, and it's coming through this lesson of learning to build up this self-esteem. Angel of Emergence. It is time for the real you to emerge. That beautiful, amazing, capable soul is ready to come forward, ready for you to stand in your personal power. Learn to release that judgment, that self-doubt, that feeling of failure. You haven't failed. It hasn't been a failure. It's just a lesson that you've learned. It's an opportunity to learn. And chances are you just weren't, it wasn't in alignment with you. Not you not being in alignment with it, but it was not in alignment with you. There is something better. There is something to celebrate on its way. There is a blessing of finances. There is a union. This is in the cards for you, but it does take a little bit of building your self-esteem back up. I am a child of the divine. I am a child of the divine, and believing that love, trusting that love, feeling that love, and harvesting it, feeling it for yourself, cultivating it for yourself. All right, Spirit, what is the final message for today? What is the final message for today? Final message for today. Push past the surface of your feelings to see the truth beneath. Exactly. This King of Winter energy, as well as this Nine of Winter energy, setting aside the emotions for a little bit. Let's look at it logically. Let's push past the surface of our feelings and see what the actual truth is. Are you actually a failure? No. You are a child of the divine. You couldn't possibly be a failure. So stop telling yourself that you are, because you're not. You are about to emerge into being the real you, that beautiful butterfly, that transformation butterfly. I know we said it's not always rainbows and butterflies, but the butterflies do come back around. And you're about to experience yours. But work on this self-esteem, work on the self-love, do what you've got to do. I am a child of the divine, and so are you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Be safe, be well. I hope you find ways to enjoy your life. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys. Shine divine.